The Inside Stepinac Basketball Podcast is back, and once again, it is brought to you by All Pro Cleaning and Restoration, a Balfour company, commercial, residential property restoration and construction company. Services include fire and water damage restoration, mold remediation, HVAC, duct cleaning, and complete construction services. Been a valued service provider for Westchester County and the Tri-State area for over 35 years and a proud supporter of Stepinac basketball, as is White Plains Hospital, a sponsor of GameDay One, and has been so good to high school athletics, Stepinac basketball, and GameDay One since we started. And now, the Inside Stepinac Basketball Podcast with Coach Patrick Massaroni. Inside Stepinac Basketball Podcast, Episode 8, and we have a team on a 6-game winning streak. We want to welcome you all in. All Pro Cleaning and Restoration, our sponsor, also our studio sponsor, White Plains Hospital. I want to thank them for all they do for us, for here at Stepinac, for our studio here, LMC Studio. It is great to be back this week and on a team that's coming off some big wins. And we have their head coach, Patrick Massaroni, who joins us every week. He's our co-host on the show. We also have some of the players this week. So it's Meet the Player Week. Coach Pat, let's get started real quick before we introduce Dylan Perry, Jasiah, Jervis, and Hassan Koureissi, our guests. Let's talk about this past Saturday. Going up to Springfield, Mass, and getting what I think regular season, it's got to be as big a win that I think you had as a head coach, and maybe this program has had, would we say, history?
Yeah, I would say overall across the board, going up there, beating IMG Academy, and if you follow on social media, Shake Hoops put out a piece on kind of what it meant. And similar to what you posted, Kev, on social media, these guys across from us and all the guys that are on our team, right, they're not boarded. They're from the tri-state area. They go home, and Sean and his group, he's a tremendous coach, but they have the resources to basically bring anybody in from anywhere across the country to an academy, a different academic structure, different basketball facility structure, backing of financial private equity and beyond that just doesn't happen at our place. So to beat them, come out first off, get up double digits, to blow that lead. We lost the lead, come back, tie it. Haas had the 4-point play, and then to get a stop, on gave up an offensive rebound, and Darius blocked the shot. But total team effort, 10 guys played in the first half, monumental win. And for those that know, like yourself, to beat them and a program like that just has different resources than anybody else in the country is unbelievable for our program and for these guys in this group. And we had some really good wins over the last 10, 11 years and in program history, but that's up there, as we talked about the other day, offline, as one of the best ones that we've had in a long time.
Yeah, I said program-defining win is kind of what it is. And because if you look at what IMG has done and who they've produced over the years, like you look at some of the rosters of alumni at some of these schools, IMG's, Oak Hill, Montverde, it's just different. It's like a different list. So to beat them and do it the way you did, to do it on, obviously on NBA TV, I think all of it adds up to, and not that there's pressure on you guys, but like, how much did you really, for this group, just to get one? I mean, you pushed Montverde to overtime. You've played Paul PVI twice, close. Yep. I mean, how important was it to get one of these nationals?
Yeah, I think it was huge for our group, for the schedule we put together. It was kind of the signature win to end the non-conference. You get 9 non-conference games. We talked all week that we needed this one and whatever it took, and I thought our preparation Friday, even up at Quinnipiac, to shoot around on Saturday. Everybody was locked in, and it was a complete professional approach to it, and them being rewarded for what it was. It just came out laser focused. And look, everybody's like, IMG's down, this and that. I mean, I looked at that roster, and these guys. I mean, you got 2 to Pittsburgh. I get the kid going to BC didn't play, but you got Stanford, Duke, Tennessee, the number 4 ranked sophomore in the country. Yeah. The kid from Turkey is a really good shooter and player. And their IMG, I don't know, they had some size and length that most high school teams don't have.
Yeah.
So you could say whatever you want. They just came off beating Southeastern Prep, who's a loaded team, and it's a huge win for us. And we're not going to let anybody take that away from us.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. Let's meet the guys who did it. Some of them here, you mentioned Hassan Koureissi joining us here today, Jasiah, Jervis, and Dylan Perry. Dylan, you're still out, right? Are you back yet?
Back.
You're back. When did you come back?
Came back against IMG.
IMG, okay, good. Of course you did. So I'm losing track when I watch so many of these games on streaming, all these different things. But you guys are pretty close to being full strength now as a team and as a group. What did it mean on Saturday? Let's start with you, Hassan. Just to go out there Saturday, huge crowd, as big of an environment as there is in terms of high school basketball. The hoop hall is unbelievable how much it's grown. To go out there, win that game, what was it feeling like walking off the court?
It felt great, playing the top 15 team in the country, knowing that for the last week we've been looking at that game, even though we was going game by game. We was getting ready, we was prepared, and to knock them down was a great feeling. And
did you had a big lead early? You obviously hit some big shots late, like you've done all season. Just tell me, what it took for the team, because you guys have been in these close games against these national opponents this year, and to get a win like this, what did that mean in terms of just kind of like validation for and how much did the other games maybe help you guys in this one?
Yeah, it felt great. We've been in multiple situations. Coach Pat is good at in practice putting us in different situations. So like us having the lead, blowing it, and then coming back was something that we've done before. So, we just stay composed, stay together, and went possession by possession to the last.
Jasiah, obviously a veteran team, you'd expect a team of senior leaders like you guys have. So we keep saying blowing the lead. Like they're good. They came back. They're very talented. Yeah. Did you get into a huddle at any point, and when did you kind of say like, all right, we got this?
Yeah, I feel like second half, because first half we was on a roll, everybody was hitting shots, everybody was involved. So second half, we started, having some missed lapses and stuff. But it happens, a game going to go ups and downs. But, we just stayed composed, like Hassan said, and we just got the job done.
Not that you ever want to compare a regular season game to a championship, but did that have a feel to it, like a celebratory feel to it afterwards? I know you guys did over that night in Springfield.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of did because, we slipped up on a couple of national games. So, this one was a big one for us, and, we got the job done. So everybody was happy for us.
Dylan, how hard was it sitting with the injury that you had, and how great was it to feel to come back and help make a difference in that game?
It was kind of tough watching my team from the sideline and knowing I can't help them, even though we were short because Haas got a little banged up in practice. So it was kind of hard watching, but it felt good coming back, helping the team win, playing good defense, helping rebound and all, etc.
What do you learn as a player when you sit back and you're watching your team? Because they got to win. I mean, they're on a 6-game winning streak. Team is. What did you learn sitting on the bench and watching the team? And I know I was at the game, Holy Cross game, and I got a big lead. They came back. What did you learn watching as a player?
I learned that staying together is important because at different times in the game's going to go left. It's not going to always go the way you want it, but once you stick together and be composed, the game's always going to come out how it's supposed to.
And then you guys have to come back and coach and play at Mount St. Michael on a Tuesday afternoon. Is that right? What time do you tip off?
4 o'clock. 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock on a Tuesday in the Bronx. Do you have to, I don't want to say rally the team, but or does that league games always matter? I mean, how do you kind of come off one win and go into the next game like that?
Yeah, over the last, Swain and I talk about it all the time. Like over the last now 11 years, we've got them out on a Tuesday at 4, and these guys know, right? We play a lot of night games. We play a lot of national games, and we played 4 games on national TV. There's something about that Tuesday at Mount and how they play almost all their games at 4 o'clock. And you get their biggest crowd and their students this year was unique. Like we walked in and we had kids coming over to us that we've never kind of had before, like right at the door. And
doing what?
Handshakes, pictures, selfies.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Talking crap.
Okay.
Like one kid was trying to follow us into the locker room. Because they have Mount Grammar too, so they have the little, the younger kids.
Are we doing like little kids?
I don't know. What would you? I mean, the kid was little, but I don't know what grade he was in. So 9th graders are younger, but they're all in one building. So,
okay.
And then we've got in there put up a dud, and Mount plays great, and the crowd goes crazy, and they're a year older with their group, and I don't know. You could ask these guys. I mean, for us as coaches, it always wears you in different environments and different games, and we've lost a game before to Mount on a Tuesday, and you look back and you regret it, and just because to any game, I would say Friday night games you get hyped up for, home or away.
Yeah.
Tuesday night games or Tuesday afternoon games, they're just tougher. It's just you're coming off school, it's a quick turnaround. You got to get on the bus. Most of them are on the road because we play a lot of our games at home at night, and you can ask them how they feel on it as coaches.
Yeah.
It always worries. Every game worries you, but and you didn't know what to expect coming off the win Saturday. But I will tell you, and not asked by us as coaches or not, practice Monday, the energy was through the roof. Like the competitiveness, we didn't do much just because we played an intense game Saturday night, but it wasn't that long of practice. I mean, we probably weren't on the court for more than an hour and 10 minutes. We watched a bunch of film, and but it was intense. It was competitive. Even from this first drill we kind of kick off practice with was through the roof, and I think kind of led over to that. But everybody sees the final score. It was 12-10 at the end of the first quarter. We were down. Yeah. And we went on a run. I don't know, was that like the last 2 minutes or last 2.5 minutes? That was just, you blinked and it was 40-22, and it just happened fast. Like,
absolutely.
It was quick.
You guys are on your way now down the stretch here in the Catholic League. Here I'm going for championship number 4 in a row, which would be remarkable to do it. But let's go back to the preseason. And Haas, I'll start with you. You guys were at practice one day. I don't know who got the notification on their phone first, and you guys see number 1 team in the country. And you guys had that like 2 weeks before you played a game. So you're going to be number 1 until whatever. Tell me what going back to that, was that just exciting? Was it pressure? Was it shock? What was the feeling, and kind of how did that set a tone for the early part of your season?
I say it was like all the above, like or just a lot of emotions. I wasn't really expecting it. Just one random day, somebody came up to me and was like, "Yo, we number 1." We was all excited, but we know what it came with, like every team coming for us. Non-league games, league games, and we know like every day we just have to push each other to keep that number 1.
Yeah, Jasiah, obviously number 1 rankings, and it's all on paper at that point, right? You haven't played a game, and they look at this and say, well, they got 5 Division I starters, and they got this bench, and they've won the. Again, before you even play a game, did you feel like we just had a mountain of pressure put on us?
I mean, not really. I was pretty shocked when I first saw it because I didn't expect it, but I know like we're a great team and all that. But I know we're number 1 in my head, so yeah. But I don't think it was pressure, I just feel like, we worked hard for that for the past season. So, yeah, I feel like we earned it.
So Coach goes out and puts together a schedule for you guys for this group. And he talked about the seniors and obviously Adonis and Darius are not here this week, but this group and showcasing this team and showcasing the school. And when he made a hard schedule, he put tough opponents, but then he added a little extra like, we're also going to play them at their gym. So, Dylan, take me back to the first game of the season. You guys start 0-1 as the number 1 team in the country. What did you do when you look back on that night, losing to St. Francis in Maryland? Did that maybe kind of straighten you guys out a little bit? How did you kind of feel walking out that night?
Yeah, I felt like since we were number 1, and we played against tougher guys than St. Francis Prep in Las Vegas, I think we thought we were better than them coming in the game, so we didn't play as hard as we should. So I feel like that kind of put us down, and we never got over the hump, so we never took that lead back, and then we ended up flat. And it was in their gym, so they hit a lot of shots, and yeah.
As tough as it is to play in the St. Francis gym, I think the PVI gym might be a little tougher. What was that? What was that environment like, going there on the road and playing them at 8:00, I think it was, or 9:00, whatever it was in DC against PVI, which is I think now they're number 1 in the country in the Max
Preps. Yeah. That night that was their 40th straight home win.
40th straight home win, and then how many games were they into their season?
Yeah, they had played a bunch.
They played a bunch, maybe a little head start on you guys. But another one. I mean. But, like, you guys are going to play major college basketball. Is that maybe just kind of like, maybe that's the education you guys need? Like, Haas, you're going to Michigan State. You're going to play at Michigan at some point, right? And it's going to probably be like that. How did you kind of feel in that gym, in that environment that night when there was, like, maybe a couple claps when you guys made a shot compared to them?
I mean, I like playing in big crowds, So when we went out to St. Francis, I felt like we was just trying to find our rhythm, It was our first game, We was just trying to learn each other a little bit more and see what guys fit in certain spots. And then that Porter 6 game, it was a great experience. I felt like we could have won that game, but, just a couple mistakes. But, yeah.
Yeah, Hassan, Jasiah just made a good comment, like about we're still learning each other at that point of the season. I think to myself, like, man, these guys have been together for 4 years. They go to Vegas, you do all this stuff. You guys still, even as a team, trying to learn how to kind of all play together. I think the Ratlifts also kind of have just elevated their game to a point where like it kind of has changed than it maybe was last year. Yeah. So are you guys still trying to learn each other?
Yeah, because we had Danny as our point guard last year, so like he took most of the load. So now without him, it's like a big like part of our team that was missing going into the year. So what it was is like everybody role increased, and we was just all trying to figure it out together.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, Coach. I love Danny's game. I didn't think the team was going to, I don't want to say suffer, but have like the bumps early with Danny gone. Did you?
Yeah, I mean, he just was so, we had relied and had him so ball dominant, you know, that there was so much that the ball was in his hands. So, yeah, and I think you know, for all these guys, the three here and then the other returning guys, you know, there was so much new. Everybody's role changed, right? We asked so much more of them. And Danny did control the ball so much that, you know, we were throwing guys in the fire there into different roles and different opportunities right from the beginning. And as much as you could try to practice it and preach it when you're going against people in true road environments like we did, you know, early on, I think it tested us. And, you know, I think that we figured out a little bit. And then obviously Adonis got hurt. And then we figured out a little bit more playing without him. And then Haas went down and Dylan went down. And then Josh was out the other day. And, you know, we've had different opportunities for different guys to step up. And we talked last week about how the bench has been tremendous. And I think it's made for a better practice environment the last month or so as well. So, yeah, I think, yeah, we were trying to figure it out. I know many people kept questioning, you know, what will they do on the ball and versus last year where it was just one guy. And we've had guys step up for sure. One
of the things that comes with playing with national televised games and on ESPN and stuff is that the announcers, like I do games, obviously I do your home games. I remind myself a lot that you guys are still 16, 17, 18 years old, right? When you go on national TV, they treat you like professionals, and that comes with some criticism, right? I mean, have you guys watched some of the games back and heard some of the things? They're kind of critical of Coach. I forget what exactly happened. They were kind of critical about, there was one point they were kind of questioning effort, which, and like it was during a timeout. I think it would have been the PVI, the second game. Mm-hmm. And they were saying, well, you know, Coach Massaroni's got to get them in the huddle because, you know, they're not giving the effort right now. Like it was like, wow, that's a pretty big dig at Coach a little bit. Do you guys watch the games back, and do you guys listen to this stuff? And how do you guys kind of handle people being critical? Because that's what's going to happen when you guys are, you know, nationally ranked like this. Start with you, Haas.
Yeah, I watched the game back. I done heard a couple of things. But to me, it's just like all things that everybody needs to work on. So if they giving you, they basically give you the answer to the test on what you could do better. If they feel like you need more effort, then you just go out the next game and just play with more effort. I feel like it's not something to like rebuttal all the time. It's not something you need to argue. It's just something that if they feel like you need to work on, you take it and you go from there.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't think we questioned effort in the last couple of weeks, especially Jasiah. I watched it from the Montverde game on. I think the second half of that game, you know, when you look back at that changed this team. Like, when did you guys feel like you guys kind of took that next step as a team? Was it that Montverde game?
Yeah, I'll probably say that game. You know, that second half, we should have came out the first half like that type of energy. But, you know, ever since that game, I feel like we've been just on a different type of mission, you know, just trying to lock in on what's the goal, and that's 4P.
Yeah, and Dylan, how much do you think this team's kind of gotten closer in that stretch as well?
Yeah, I think we got really much closer as a team because our bench kind of got more into the game than usually, because earlier in the season it was mostly like just a 6-man rotation, but that game we really had like 7, 8 guys playing, so then they all were prepared for the next games and they let the starters sit a little more than usual.
You know, Coach, one of the things, obviously, they've all committed to Division I schools. Fordham, Michigan State, Monmouth, and obviously the Rattlers are going to USC. And everybody wants to know how you came to that decision. I want to go back a little earlier than that and go back to when you guys were in 8th grade. And Hassan, let's start with you, because obviously your situation is a little different than everybody else, about how you chose Stepinac. Yeah. Because I always like to ask people, like, anywhere in life, like, how did you get to where you are today? Because it's not always like this, like, I made this decision and this is what I ended up doing, right? So, Haas, just tell me about your decision, because you obviously had choices. Your brother went to Iona Prep. You go to Stepinac right away. That's like a wow. What made you make that decision? When you look back, you know, tell me about when you decided to go to Stepinac.
I feel like it was more for what was best for me. Playing with PSA, it was 2 older guys on the team, Danny and Boogie. So it was like already family at the program, so I felt like it was just more comfortable and a better opportunity if I was to go to Stepinac.
Did you sit down with Munch? Because we had Munch on last week, and we talked about decisions and obviously a pivotal time, because, you know, when you make a college decision, you're more mature. But, you know, when did you know, what options did you weigh? And do you remember when you decided Stepinac?
I don't really remember when I decided Stepinac, but I definitely did have a talk with Munch. He was telling me, he was like, going into freshman year, you don't know if you're going to make varsity or not, but if you make varsity, play or not play, you're going to practice every day the same way with the same good attitude, going in playing hard every possession.
Jasiah, your story's a little different, right? So I think your mom, is that right? Because Coach Pat Mass told us about how he didn't really know exactly who you were at that point, and obviously he's glad he got to know you. But tell me about your middle school years and where you were playing and how you and your family decided.
Yeah, so it was really my mom. She was kind of familiar with the school already since my cousin had went there before. So, I just been going to the camps and, I met Coach Swain, Coach Pat, and, they see me performing well at the camps and they liked what they seen. And, I really fell in love with the school. And, I got the chance to, try out for varsity. I made it. And, ever since then, I just been getting better each and every day.
And what did your mom say? What was hers like? You're going to Stepinac, or how did she make that? How did she help you make that decision?
Yeah, it was really for the academics. My mom's big on that, so that was the first thing that came to mind. And she thought Stepinac was the best decision, and I thought it was as well. So yeah. Dylan,
tell me about you. Where do you live? Where do you grow up?
I live in New Jersey.
New Jersey. So tell me about obviously coming over the bridge. It's a tough thing. He comes over the bridge every day. It's not easy. Yeah. Tell me about coming from New Jersey and why you chose Stepinac.
So I've been playing in middle school basketball in New York, so I was very familiar with New York teams, New York schools, and my mom, she had found out about Stepinac, so she kept searching, doing research, and she saw how good the academics was and how prestigious the team is and how good the team is, and we sat, we watched a game, and we liked the team, and after talking with Coach Pat and touring around the school, we thought it was a good choice.
So Coach, these kids all come in as freshmen. Do you remember all of them when they all first came in the building? I mean, and having conversations. Obviously, you mentioned you recognize one last name, right?
Yeah, I mean, Haas's brother.
Went against Sal.
Sal went to Iona Prep and had a great career there and went on to Richmond. And then Jasiah's, as we talked about in the past, playing with the Whiz kids and also being at St. Ray's Grammar, just kind of a different trajectory where kids don't usually come up to Stepinac, right? And then Dylan, had so many options being in Northern Jersey, and credit to his mom, and I think all three families. And the point of having three on today was these are the three guys that have been there. All our guys have been in the program except for Patrice from day one, right? Yep. Patrice transferred as a junior, but these three were on were on varsity as freshmen, right?
Okay.
And they've been that was kind of as we try to roll guys on our roster onto the show as our guests. Wanted to have these three to describe. Being on for 4 years, right?
Exactly.
And the different roles they were going to hit on and all that. But yeah, you knew when all three were, and we knew that by them coming in, and all three, I think, you kind of hit on. It was their opportunity to play varsity would be there. I don't know what their roles would be. We had talent in the program. When you guys were freshmen, the seniors were who? Who was
just.
It was Ben and Cole.
It was just Ben and Cole, right?
Cole.
So there was a small senior class, and then that junior class, right? You had Boogie, Jordan, Howard, Amir. Who else? There was who was that?
Diggy.
Yep.
It was Asher.
Yeah.
Asher,
Yeah. So the junior class was bigger. So we only had two seniors that were going to graduate, but it was you try to make sure you have really good classes as year in, year out to continue the program where it's at. So, we knew who they were.
Yeah.
A lot of our guys do come to camps as they hit on and the clinics we have, but it was different, right? Haas's brother going to our rival school, Jasiah at a grammar school that a lot of kids just don't come to, right?
Yeah.
And then Dylan being from Northern Jersey, we don't have guys. So all three of them kind of made decisions. And thankful for us and for the program, what they decided to do. But I think that's a great question because so many the whole stories now are why they stay.
Yeah, well,
right?
that's a follow up. It's like you chose Stepinac, which is great, but then you chose you really only have to make one choice, which is to go to Stepinac. But you get the option of going somewhere else. Probably, maybe I'm sure you guys 100 times over the last 4 years. How many times have you been thought about, contacted, asked about going to a different school during your high school career?
I know there have been schools that contacted me, but I have never really thought about leaving Stepinac. It was never a mindset to leave.
Why not? Because IMG is beautiful. You've seen everything on the website. It's nice.
one staying close to home, but also like people don't see the things that Coach Pat do off the court. Like they see the on the court, but Coach Pat really helped us off the court a lot. Like if I ever need a favor, Coach Pat's the first one I could call. He's always answering the phone no matter the time, and that's just family love right there.
Jasiah, you feel the same way?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure you, especially in the last year, he's told me some stories. But like, about how the word is poaching, right? They would say poaching. That was Lohad use that word. And they did this whole article about you guys about staying at Stepinac. Jasiah, what would you say the number one reason for staying at Stepinac was?
Just the brotherhood that's over there. Since the freshman year, I've been welcomed with open arms, and I've been building great bonds with the coaches, the players, and even the alums that have been there. So, I just get to learn a lot off and on the court.
Dylan, you're a good example because I think of, to play here on this team, you have to sacrifice, accolades and probably awards and stats and all this stuff. And I don't think anyone sacrifices in Southern Atlanta anyone close to you, right? So, Coach loves to talk about does the dirty work. He does the little things, all this stuff, which is a nice way of saying he doesn't score 15 or 20 points a game. So how much have you ever thought about saying, man, if I went to this other school, I'd be 20 and 15 and put up big numbers and do all this stuff. But, why have you said that's not important?
Yeah, sometimes I do think about that, and I think about, I want to score more, but I really think about, how it's a family and how I just got to keep getting better and keep trying to show why I should be able to score more, do it, just score more. But yeah, sometimes I do think about that, but most of the time I think back, this is a family, it's a brotherhood, so we just got to keep stay together and just hope for the best. Yeah,
well, that's that
3-point play that, in March was, those 3 points are pretty valuable.
Yeah, of course, yes.
They were. Career.
Totally. Let's talk about something like this. So we talk about sacrifice and the accolades and the attention, and I got to tell you guys, it's probably as hard to be a team player in any sport now than it was ever before. And the big reason is that social media has changed everything, right? So Coach obviously have Heck come in and he does great stuff for you guys. And I always recognize that Hector, when he does his videos, he kind of includes everybody and he gets everyone involved. Then you guys go to Springfield. So you go to Springfield this past weekend, and Darius has a huge game. He has a huge game. We have 16 points, 6 blocks, something. Yeah. He had a good game. A really good game.
9 rebounds.
9 rebounds. Yeah. The internet loves the Rattlers. They do. The Instagram loves profiling them, doing reels. I see the collab, everything, right? So that whenever they have a big game, it's like there's people there, and they're always doing this stuff. And all I think to myself is, and the reason why I say this is because I know of teams, public school teams, that they're having issues this season that they've never had before because there's a lot of jealousy over who gets, profile. They don't have the clips for Instagram. How do you guys, and Hassan, we'll start with you. Just how do you guys I think about Darius gets profile. He's all over all these big Instagram, all these great Instagram pages. How do the other 11 guys and 12 guys in the team feel when you guys win as a team and they kind of focus on one guy? How do you not let that bother you guys?
I mean, we're just happy for each other. So at the end of the day, yeah, he's getting the spotlight, but it was a team win. We all know, we all happy for him and the accomplishments that he did that for those games that he had. So it's no jealousy. It's just all it's all love.
Yeah. So and the reason why I'm asking this is it's more I hear you guys can help other teams because I think other teams Coach, you see this all the time. Other teams get caught up in this stuff, right? I mean, there's a lot of jealousy.
Yeah, look, I always go back, what year was that? So we're in 2026 now. There's been some years where you just have a bad locker room and there's nothing you could do about it. You could try to do as much team camaraderie. Yeah. And if you got a bad locker room, you got a bad locker room. Yep. And I think bad locker room now spills onto social media, so I don't, I'll let Jasiah get into this the side of things.
I think this team seems like they all, like I said, everyone kind of gets along really well, and you guys kind of generally happy for each other. Yeah. What advice would you give to the other teams that worry about that stuff?
I'll just say just be part of a winning team and a winning program, it shouldn't be no jealousy because, if your teammate's winning, there's just going to be more eyes on him and then more eyes on the team, and that's going to help you,
Yeah, Dylan, I think winning kind of cures all, right? Is that what this is all about?
Yeah, definitely. I think once you're winning, all you're just happy in general. So once one person has a shine, your whole team got to shine because you're all winning. So
Yeah. All right. So you guys obviously.
We try to, I mean, just to share,
Yeah.
and these guys could hit on, like, we try to say, like, it could be, Dylan's night tonight, Jasiah's night tomorrow, and Haas's night the next night, and, the Saturday was Darius's night, right? When it comes to the spotlight, it could, whoever it is, back in, game in December, might have been, Haas, it might have been here, it might have been there. When two of these three guys were out, we talked about, Jordan having 14 that one night, and Coco and Amir playing expanded minutes, and Larry and Elijah. So we've tried to preach that winning will only help you, and I think also now is like all these accolades are coming and all this, recruitment for these guys is conversations we keep having. And before we went on air, we were talking about the whole Alabama situation going on now, and a kid coming out of the G League again, another one suing, and like my whole conversation with these people, does winning matter anymore, right? Is it just clicks? Is it that, like, does winning matter? Has always been a big preaching thing for us, and I think in the end it prepares these guys for what happens at the next level. And you look at all of our guys, we talk every week on the alums that are having success. I think it's because of how hard we go and whatnot.
Yeah, I watched the All Hail video that the guy came to your high school. Did you guys know who he was? I mean, you follow him?
Yeah, I knew he was.
Yeah, you guys all. So, Haj, you say it like, oh yeah, I knew who he was. Like, have you watched a lot of his stuff over the years?
Yeah, I seen him. I follow him on TikTok, and I seen him on Instagram, yeah.
So he showed up to school, and it was like a big deal for you guys then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jasiah, obviously, he had you follow him around. He went to class with you, right?
Yeah,
And sitting with Mr. Griffith's class, and that sort of attention was pretty unique. But I think the fact that he was there was cool. But I think the way the message that he conveyed about the school, I mean, tell me about that's pretty real. I mean, like in terms of this is like a real school. You go to actual class, you learn stuff. I know that it was The Godfather, right?
Yeah,
but what did you kind of take away watching that video back?
Watching that video, you just take away like how, like, it, like the school.
Yeah. It kind of captured like what really goes on every day, right?
Yeah. So it's like a day in the life. You just see like how like we just have our regular day, and how we still like at the end of the day we still beating teams like IMG. Like, none of it matters. It's just our effort on the court.
Yeah, I thought the video was awesome. Coach.
They did a great job. Him and Will did a great job. They pumped it out quick. I mean,
I couldn't
21
believe.
minutes.
I'm like, how long? They must have stayed up all night doing that.
Yeah, I mean, because Will was up at our game Saturday at Hoop Hall, and Cullen was down covering the national championship for Meta. So it was. I thought they did a tremendous job. The realness of it, even like, if you looked a little bit, like these guys know. So we're getting a huge enhancement to our building and continuing to renovate. The second floor is gutted right now. That was like, keep it in the video. Like we're improving our building and trying to improve this academic learning space. And that goes back to like the IMG Win and all these other academies and these different leagues. Like these guys got to go to school. Like it's you go to class, and they all thrive academically. I mean, where they're going to school next year, if you look at all their GPAs, our team GPA, take pride in doing their work, all their at-home life, right? They don't play around. From Haas's brother to both these guys, moms. It's like it's something that we take serious, and they take serious. And I think as the world continues to evolve, and basketball, has put us in a spotlight, and we're here today and doing all this, and the brand is what it is. But Catholic identity and being a student athlete and having so much school environment. I always talk about, like, if you go down and just sit with them at lunch, the people that it's not just the three of them and the other seniors just sitting in a corner. I mean, there's other guys that aren't on the team that are around them, and that same goes to the lower levels and our younger guys. The interaction, we talked Patrice just being a hit, barely plays, and he's loved by everybody.
Besides, what is walking around the building like? I've seen it. I've seen. I was walked down the hallway with Darius one day, just like walking behind him, and I saw like kind of high five random kids in the school. Like what is it? What is the? Because there was a point where it kind of maybe I don't know when it was, Coach. Maybe been before the first championship where I felt like the basketball team was a little disconnected from the school. But like you guys seem like you kind of have helped bring that back. Is that true?
Yeah, it's just all love. It don't matter what sport you play or if you don't even play a sport. It's kids just showing love. Just the brotherhood that's at the school.
Yeah, you guys obviously are now You went through the process of college, and I'm sure you're happy that's over with. Dylan, we'll start with you. Just your decision to for the next level, and you did it early. Am I right? Did it in August?
No, it was October.
I don't even remember.
Right?
I'm the
September?
worst.
What?
September.
Yeah, so it was early in the school year before the season started. What did it come down to, and why'd you make your choice?
Yeah, I made the choice because I felt like it was a good program for me. Like, it came down to what the team is going to do for me and how I'm going to impact the team and how early I'm going to play, how close it is to home.
Mm-hmm.
So it's different factors that factored into why I chose that school, and I just thought it was the best fit for me.
Jasiah, I watched you pace the hallway up in the third floor by Coach Mass's office just, the day you were about to announce. And when you look back on that, you're obviously happy with your decision to go to Michigan State. But how hard was those final hours for you?
Oh, yeah, it was just a big decision, for me and my family, just all the hard work, blood, sweat, and tears that I was put in, to be able to go to school for free and my parents don't have to pay for nothing, it's just a blessing.
Yeah, and obviously, you keep up with Coach Izzo,
Yeah.
and he's always just a lot of. I feel like in the last couple of years, he's always been a great coach, but he's become very animated. He's just kind of changed his persona. And I think it's been fun to watch him.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's not.
No, it's not put on at all.
Act.
No, definitely not. And Haas, obviously, you're staying close to home too.
Yeah.
Tell me about Fordham and your decision.
We have a new coach with Coach McPlyo. I watched the system when he was at UCR. I love the way he approached the game. When I went on my visit, he was talking to me, being very blunt with me, telling me the real, telling me if I want to play, I'm gonna have to work. So that's something that caught my eye very, very quick.
So one of the hardest things, Coach, and you've probably seen this over the years, is when you have guys who've been on varsity for 4 years, guys that have had ultimate success, players who've made their college commitments, they have a hard time getting to the finish line. And I don't know if Boogie did, but it is hard. It is really hard to kind of say it's easy to get thinking ahead and being like, man, I only got a couple games left here. How do you kind of keep this team on the track that they're on?
Yeah, I think we try to go as hard as we can every single day in our approach and the approach these guys have taken and we take as a staff, for myself, Swain to Aldo, Alexis, is we try to give them what they're getting at the college level, right? Mm-hmm. From the way we travel to weight room to recovery to our athletic trainer to film work to scout. This is what you'll get at the next level, and that's what we're trying to prepare them to. And try to work on the skill side of the game. Right, they're all going to have different roles when they get to the next level. I would say kind of the message since we've hit the new year, it kind of post Iona has been every time how many games they got left, right, guaranteed, how many games together, how many practices together, right? We hope there could be some opportunities in March and into April, but we knew IMG was the guaranteed last trip of the year. So enjoy this time on the road, enjoy this team meal. Enjoy the time in the hotel, all that. We appreciate the 3 a.m. fire alarm that we got after we beat IMG that night. And then the other one
Wait,
at 5
that really happened?
I was awful.
Yeah, it was bad.
I was awful.
Oh, man,
Steps down,
Wait,
outside. It was false. It was a false alarm.
Of course it was, yeah.
But we know that the fire alarms work at the Springfield Marriott. I can say that. But, trying to, even before Mount, it's, this is how many league games we got left. And I think the other thing, too, is every time you're together, you got an opportunity to go showcase, right? So we have 4 home games left, and we've been talking, their peers have been, the jungle has been unbelievable this year.
Yeah.
They've been tremendous. How many more times that do you have, right? You got 2 more Friday night guaranteed home games. And even for our fans, that Tuesday versus Holy Cross was insane. The Sunday versus Loughlin. This is unique and special, and try to enjoy it every time. So, look, it's a lot of ups and downs. I'm sure there are times they don't like me, they don't like Swain, they don't like Al, they don't like Lex, they don't like their teachers, right? That's the naturalness of being a high school kid, right? They're all smiling across me right now. But, it's trying to stay a part of the journey. And last year we joined 4 of the teams, being the 5th school ever in Catholic League history to win 3 in a row. And the best part is that these guys have said, we're just going to take it head on and try to be the only team ever to do it. And you need some breaks to go your way.
Yeah.
You need some things to go to your way. And you look back freshman year when we played at St. John's, right? Boogie doesn't have that first half that he probably had. We're probably in trouble versus Hayes, right?
Yep.
And then sophomore year, you look at that playoff run and that championship game, and then last year, needing to stop, down 6 with 58 seconds to go. Not only the defensive stop, but Dylan to and one, then to foul 3 times, then to hit 2 straight threes to start over. You need breaks to go your way.
Yeah.
You need to not have phantom, offensive foul rebound calls with 0.3 to go versus Malloy in 2017, and you need all things to go your way. So we need that. We need to continue to stay healthy. We're getting back to full strength. The bench has showed, and that's the whole thing. Like, this year more than ever, the Instagram posts and DMs have been wild. Like, I don't know if it's because we have all these other followers, but
Yeah.
like we had a coach in our league, a lower level coach, like the fall off's going to be crazy. The fall off's going to be crazy. And yeah, we're going to lose some pretty talented guys, but
You read that to
like
the DM or
it's
probably
like wild.
Yeah.
The posts that people put out. And
Do you guys see that stuff? Do you guys care about that stuff? Did anyone write stuff to you?
I try to just stay away from like the negativity on the social media. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna get it next year. I think you guys all are, but like you especially, Jasiah. How do you stay away from it? How do you not let it bother you and let it kind of get to you a little bit? Because he's obviously coach is a little older. I think it still bothers him a little bit, or maybe it motivates him. I don't know. I think back in the day it would have really bothered you, but does it motivate you guys in some ways?
For me, it's life. Like, things like that's gonna happen. I try not to worry about it. You can laugh at it, show people but at the end of the day, it's like we know we're doing. I know we're doing good because of the fact that we have haters. Like, if people not gonna hate on something that's doing bad already.
Yeah, you guys are obviously, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So Coach talked about being 4-year varsity players, going for a 4th championship, and not only just doing that, but being the first to ever do that. Do you guys think about legacy? Joe, we'll start with you. Just do you think about legacy, about being on a player who can walk away and say, hey, all I ever knew was winning?
Yeah, I feel like it's unique because I don't think no one has ever did that before. So I feel like we're going to go down in history if we win that 4P, and that's going to be special.
Jasiah, you've got to feel, like, we talk about pressure and all stuff, but like the pressure to win has got to be pretty, to win the championship has got to be pretty big right now. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I've been winning since young, so, just to get this 4P, I mean, it would just be like legends basically in New York, so yeah.
Absolutely. And Hassan, you got St. Ray's Friday, Scanlon, St. Ray's on Friday, Scanlon, then you have Hayes at home on the following Friday, Peters, Ray's again, Iona Prep. Is there a small part of you, and then you finish with Mount and Christ again, is there a small part of you that maybe says, like, yeah, IMG, Montverde, PVI, those are great travel and stuff, but like, I kind of, do you kind of zero in on these games maybe a little bit more, or do you like them more, or is it all kind of the same?
I take every game like the same approach, but you tend to lock in on these games more because you don't know why, but these games kind of get like a little bit harder. Like, we could beat IMG by 15 at halftime, but we was down 2 to Mount St. Michael's in the first quarter. So you tend to lock in on games like this more, pay attention to more of the scout, and become like more of a leader to the younger.
The Iona game's got to mean something though to you, right? Does it mean anything? Did your brother talk to you about it?
He tend to stop talking. 'Cause the record is kind of bad. At the beginning, he was like, it was a lot of jokes and giggles, but now like he just come to watch. He don't really talk to me about it.
I can remember. I covered him when he would play. He had some of his better games against Stepinac too. Does he talk about that?
Nah, because they didn't win. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it didn't really matter.
Jasiah, do you excited for these city games more?
Yeah, I definitely get excited for the rivalry games. It's definitely a big thing for the city.
And obviously you're from New Jersey, so like you don't have that city feel, but like you've obviously grown, Dylan, into being a New York basketball player who kind of feels these rivalries. Just even St. Ray's. I mean, we talked before the show about the stuff that goes on before these games. You enjoy this in some ways, even if it's going to be negative or whatever it is.
Yeah, I enjoy it because the student section, I got jokes and they always try to troll us and try to get us out of our comfort zone. And it's fun. It's fun to play in the city because it's like we want to show everyone why we're their best. So it's fun.
I got to tell you, so student sections, like I think student sections sometimes can be overrated or whatever. I wish I filmed the pregame shoot for Scanlon when they played you guys, and the jungle was there, and they were loud. I don't think Scanlon made one shot in pregame. And the crowd was getting louder and louder and louder every missed shot. And they did an awesome job of not reacting to it, but you could see every kid they're trying to shoot from the corner over there, and they could not make a shot. And I would laugh. I was like, oh my God, like this is real. Like this works, you know?
The kids this year, these guys have relationships with them. I always say you got to have a really good senior class. You got to have non-basketball players that are behind it. And our jungle has been tremendous. I think they'll be great tomorrow night. I think they'll be great versus Hayes. And you go around, we always get everybody's best shot. But the Stepinac jungle, those kids have been tremendous this year. They make an impact. I mean, we're up early versus Holy Cross, the Scanlon game. We couldn't really hear them, but they came out to the Iona game too, and just there was so many people there. But they do a great job. It makes a difference, and they do it in a respectful way, and they're pretty funny at the same time. And how they approach things.
The Iona game, before we move on, just the Iona game itself at the county center. I mean, you guys aren't from Westchester, but that's a pretty incredible atmosphere. Do you guys feel that? I mean, obviously, you're going to play in bigger bigger venues, bigger tournaments and stuff. But how much does playing in front of that crowd mean, Haas?
It means a lot, just to know 3,000 people is gonna come to our game in our city. Mm-hmm. You don't get that in public school. You don't get that anywhere else. So it's actually a great feeling to know we have a lot of people that actually want to come watch us play.
Getting you ready, obviously, Jasiah, you're going to play in front of a lot of people next year, right? Yeah. You look around, and then you get another chance to do it, obviously, in a few weeks when you guys go to Iona University.
Yeah.
So how fun is that atmosphere?
Yeah, it's great, and then, the fan love, taking pictures after the game, and, just people from around that area that you don't know, follow your game, so yeah.
And obviously, you missed the Iona game, right?
Yeah,
that was the first game you were out.
Yeah.
Get a chance to go play them at Iona University just one last time, and maybe you play Iona again. But it won't be a crowd like that. What's the crowd going to be like? And how excited are you to play at Iona in a few weeks?
Yeah, I think the crowd is going to be bigger because I think they know this is the last time we play them at their gym. So I feel like they're going to come extra hard, try to get this win over us. For the last time.
I think, Coach, in your time, do you know your record against Iona? You have how many losses? You know how many losses?
A lot to a little.
Is it 2 or 3?
I'm not sure.
Well, in the last few years, I think the times they beat you there, right?
We were 7-1 in the 8 Crusader Classics.
Okay.
And then we lost a game or two at Iona College, now University. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Dave Resnick's got the analytics.
It's hard. My point is, it's hard to win there.
Yeah, it is.
They always seem to elevate when they play.
Guys play better, and we seem to get. I mean, even Tuesday. There were some guys doing some stuff on the other team that just doesn't happen when you watch all this film and scout. It's I don't know if they see the extra cameras and they see all the media attention and
credit to them, man. That's awesome.
It is. Yeah. It's good for them, and we get everybody, seems to their points per game goes up when they play us and whatnot. So that's what it's about, And I think the best part of these 3 guys and the other 6 seniors and the returning guys have just handled the pressure. They're amazing with the fans, amazing with our alumni. The piece you just talked on that Mike did, I thought was tremendous. All hail, Cullen being in there and all that, stuff, and the different media that they've taken on and whatnot, and the questions and the all that. They've answered them real, right? We don't, our biggest thing is we talk about ourselves, and we're not talk about anybody else, and we don't want to be anybody's bulletin board material, and we don't tell them what to say to the media. I don't stand there and stand over their shoulder. And these guys answer with real, genuine, authentic answers, and that's how, they feel. Unless somebody else is giving them a scripted answer, it's not from me. So that's what it is.
You guys, let's do a little rapid fire questions before we wrap up here. So we'll start with Hassan. Just what are you going to miss most about Stepinac?
I say Friday night games.
Friday night game. Jasiah, what about you?
I'd probably say the traveling part.
Traveling?
Yeah.
You enjoy the hotels and the long bus rides and the box lunch? Do you like that?
Yeah.
What's your favorite? What are you gonna miss most?
I'm probably gonna miss knowing a lot of the students and being comfortable with everybody.
All right. Back to Hassan. Who's the toughest person to go against in practice, not in the starting lineup?
Right now, I say Coco for sure.
Coco
or Amir.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Coco or Amir.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably say Coco.
What's the maddest you've ever made Coach Pat?
I think Haas answered that.
Probably some off the court issues.
Okay.
Coming in, some off the court issues.
Nothing bad.
Freshman year, though.
Yeah, freshman year.
Early
Okay.
on.
Yeah, freshman
Early
year.
on. Okay.
Yeah, freshman year, off the court issues. That's the baddest I've seen Coach Pat.
All right. How about you?
During the game, probably when we lost sight on it at one time at their gym, I would definitely remember that he wasn't happy at all after that game.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you had to pick a player on your team, you're all going to grow up. Hopefully have a family, maybe have a daughter. We have daughters. It's not the easiest thing in the world. Who on the team would you be happy if he dated your daughter?
Probably.
But maybe we'll do like who's not dating your daughter.
Who's not dating my daughter? I don't know. But I know who dated my daughter. Probably Patrice.
Okay, all right.
Is or is it?
Nah, he is, but
Okay, and then who is
not
it?
Amir Smith. Amir Smith's not.
Who you got?
Yeah, I was gonna say Patrice too, and who I'm not probably say Haas.
That's good. Dylan, who?
Yeah, I would probably say Patrice or Coco.
All right, so you all said Patrice. Why? Because here's the thing. We talked about this before the show. My son went to the Scanlon game. Patrice goes in late in the game, crowd's chanting for him. I think he loved, like, wow, everyone likes this guy, so I should like him too. So why was Patrice all you guys answer?
He's just a cool dude. Like, he's funny. He don't get, like, over emotional. And Patrice is just a great person to be around.
Yeah, he got a great personality, you know, a very humble kid, you know, so, yeah.
All right, good. All
I
right.
think people also respect, like, when Patrice couldn't run from baseline to the half court in like 10 seconds. Now he's making the sprints. Patrice couldn't dunk at his size. Now he's dunking with ease.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think people respect also knowing who he is as a person, as a gentle giant. Like, Patrice could be, in a couple years, we're all going to look and, like, Patrice going to be playing college basketball and, like, playing.
Maybe call him like college football.
And maybe college football.
Yeah.
And be like, you know what? That they were right on it. Like, he's just anywhere else, a 6'10" transfer as a junior that's not behind Dylan and the Twins. Like, is probably playing, and he stayed. He could have left last year, and he stayed. And I think like, he's being severely under recruited by non-Division I schools, and somebody's just going to take a chance.
Yeah.
And in a couple years, when he continues to lose weight and, you know, gets in shape more and more, you know. So, all right. So
Our last.
well, who would you say is not? You didn't answer that.
Not. I'll probably say Haas.
Poor Haas.
Or Haas, at least you're honest with him in front of him. Amir
good.
got thrown on the bus. He's not even here.
All right, that's good. You guys, and last one for you guys. What do you, when people look back on your career, what do you most want them to remember about you, Hassan?
That I'm a guy that just wins. No matter what. Nobody cares how you do it, but just get it done.
Yeah, I'd say that I'm a winner and, you know, I'm a leader.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll probably say winner, hard working.
All right,
Lot of
Coach.
energy.
Coach, I'm going to turn it to you. What are you going to look back on in these guys and remember? I mean, what is going to be the thing you say with this group and in this, you know, these individuals?
Yeah, you miss the people, the individual relationships you have with them, the highs and lows that come with it. Thankfully, we've had a lot of highs.
Yeah.
The fact that, you know, all of them could have left at any point throughout the time. I love the fact that, and there's some stuff we tag team on asking them why they came, because everybody's journey is different, and their families and themselves just putting the work in. You know, they get the credit, I get the credit. There's people behind the scenes that go into it. Our teachers on a day-to-day, our guidance counselors, Mr. Cardi, Mr. Pornova, everybody, right? And then, you know, I always say I got an unbelievable staff. You know, from Swain to Al to Alexis, everybody's different in what they do. These guys interact with them differently, down to our managers, the trainers we've had, from Lucy now to Haley, our strength program. Our biggest thing is Stepinac is trying to prepare them for the next level. And obviously going to miss their talent and their expertise, but I think the best thing, too, is that these three guys and the other 6 seniors have taught the younger guys in the program this is the standard of how we do things.
Yep.
And even down to the JV and the freshmen, and even they're close with a lot of the varsity B guys who were, you know, they came off a championship last year and thriving right now, but gonna miss a lot. And
well, it's not over.
I think no, it's not over. I think, you know, it probably won't hit until like graduation. That's usually when it is. But always know that we're here for them, and so is Stepinac, and to use the network and the alumni and us, and that's what it's about. So, I don't know, maybe in the summer I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Or more.
Okay, eight regular season games left. The Archdiocese tournament, and then the city championship tournament, and you guys are probably hopefully be working towards getting a bye, but it's one less game to play. But still a lot of basketball left, and I want to thank you guys for coming on the show.
And you're close to Robert Zayas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
you want it Federation tournament back?
No,
yeah.
There's some opportunities out there.
He's in charge of New York State athletics.
That's your guy.
Yeah.
So and he doesn't probably watch minute 59 and minute 60 of this show, but like there's some things that maybe he could help us out with.
Well, he was at the
back
county.
end.
He was at the Westchester County Center for the Westchester Sports Hall of Fame, and about a couple months ago. And I was like, "You see this building? You should see what it looks like when it's filled for basketball. It's awesome." And he looked around and stuff, and I'd love to see it, even if it's just one game. One
maybe
game.
even beyond that. We might need his help on some stuff too,
I agree. I don't know if it's gonna happen this year, but down the road.
Sorry to kill your ending here.
No, it's all good. You guys are awesome. You guys are great guests. I appreciate it. I'm not surprised. You guys have incredible poise and composure on the court, and you obviously had it here today, and you answered some tough questions, some fun questions. So I want to thank Hassan, Jasiah, and Dylan. Coach Pat Mass. Before we wrap up the show, All Pro Cleaning and Restoration, White Plains Hospital. I want to thank them. Anything else to add as we look the final month of the regular season?
No, just excited for this stretch coming up here. Friday, Tuesday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. It's not a lot of practice at this point of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of ramp practice back up right when that final game is on the 12th or 10th, whatever it is. No, excited fans come out, support these guys. You're not going to see a group like this in a long time in this area, in the league. We appreciate everybody that has supported us to date. Excited for tomorrow. One game at a time, one day at a time. Preparation's key. Being driven, staying focused, no distractions. And appreciate everybody that continues to listen to the show and give us feedback. And these guys coming on, and get thrown in to being on the show. And like you said, ask some tough questions and just shows that they're more than just basketball players. And that's what it's about. So
you guys gonna play the teachers in the game at some point or no? I watched that TikTok.
Nah, they scared though.
Yeah, not allowed. They're scared.
I don't blame them. That's all good.
They got to coach cheer. They were at the scores table.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah, they're not.
Who was the best teacher? Who was the best teacher playing?
Oh, Mr. Griffith.
Yeah, he was nasty. He was good.
Sure.
They didn't even get big shot Charlemagne.
And Darren.
Oh,
Well, I did that because I know Jordan watches to the 60th minute, just in case you mentioned him. So that was good. I appreciate your side. I appreciate you doing that. I want to thank All Pro Cleaning and Restoration, White Plains Hospital. I want to thank LMC Media Studios, Astrid, Ryan from GameDay One. And I want to thank you for watching. We'll see you next week on the Inside Stepinac Basketball Podcast. The Inside Stepinac Basketball Podcast is back. And once again, it is brought to you by All Pro Cleaning and Restoration, a Balfour company, commercial, residential property restoration and construction company. Services include fire and water damage restoration, mold remediation, HVAC, duct cleaning, and complete construction services. Been a valued service provider for Westchester County and the Tri-State area for over 35 years and a proud supporter of Stepinac basketball, as is White Plains Hospital, a sponsor of GameDay One, and has been so good to high school athletics, Stepinac basketball, and GameDay One since we started.